Okay, let's get started. Good morning, everyone. My name is Maritza, and I am the Senior International Officer for students joining us from Turkey, East Africa, and the Americas. I am part of the recruitment team here at here in the international office at Southampton Solent University. It is a pleasure to host you all and to have you on this call as we are running a series of webinars about our January courses. Today, we are joined by colleagues from the business school, specifically those that are teaching and leading on our UG undergraduate provision for January. We have Sally Holland. Sally, if you could introduce yourself and give a little overview of who you are and what you do.
Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for joining us today. I'm the course leader for the business management scheme, and I lead the whole sort of overview of the course as well. But I'm highly supported by our team of academics, and with me today I have Daniel. Daniel, if you'd like to say a few words about your role.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Daniel, and I'm a lecturer in the business school. Now, I would be your intake manager for January. So my role specifically would be to help you transition smoothly into your academic journey in the UK. So we would be looking at how you could embrace the new culture, like the academic culture, the way our classrooms are designed, the way our lectures are given. I would also help you when we look at things like academic support services, the way we use our technology, and just to help you to familiarize with how we do things so that you can enjoy your stay while you study here at Solent.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
Thank you both very much. So a quick introduction into the university. Southampton Solent University is based in Southampton. We are named after our city, an incredible city for young individuals wanting to further themselves and enhance their skills and grow in their future. Our campus is based right in the heart of the city. It's in East Park Terrace. You will see that later on in the presentation. We're about 70 minutes away from London, which is great because you get to have proximity to London, but without the London prices. It's an incredible place to be a young individual. It's an incredible place to be a student. But we will talk about that later on in the presentation. Without further ado, I'll hand over to Sally to introduce you to our wonderful business school.
So good morning again, everybody. So I'm going to take you through our BSc Hons Business Management course, and we're situated in the university in the Department of Business and Law. Next slide, Melissa. So before we start, a little bit about the university, and we can never do any presentations without sharing with you that we are a TEF Triple Gold University. So TEF stands for the Teaching Excellence Framework, and it's an award that was given to us by a national body here in the UK called the Office for Students. And we are only one of 15 universities to be awarded the Triple Gold, and we were awarded it for our student experience being typically outstanding alongside our teaching, which is something that we totally pride ourselves upon at Solent University. And importantly for you in terms of your own personal investment in terms of studying within the UK is our student outcomes. And what that means is your progression from the university in terms of those graduate high-skilled roles you move on to in the future. Thank you, Maritza. So a little bit more about the university. We're also 15th in the UK for graduate startups, and I will talk you through our degree programme, and I'm really proud that we actually heavily contribute towards that particular statistic. We have a lot of students on our programme who are young entrepreneurs and wanting to be future business owners. The university also supports our students in terms of the development of setting up their own businesses with specialist workshops through our careers service, and also there's some grants that you can in addition. We're ranked in the top 20% of the UK universities for our teaching quality. And as I've already said, we have the TEF Triple Gold stamp of approval as well. In the UK, we're top 30 for satisfaction with our assessments, meaning that most of our students are satisfied across their entire degree journey in the way that they're assessed and that fairness of the assessment. Thank you, Ritza. So our courses, which have you gone to the next bit? Perfect. So in January, the course that is on offer to you all is our undergraduate degree titled BSc Hons Business Management. Now, the good news is that the level 4, or the first year of that program, which you would start in January and you would run through across the summer, and then you will transition directly into our level 5 or second year of our courses in the September of 2025. The good news is that whilst you'll all be studying our base degree, our sort of core degree, the business management one, over that first 2 terms, you will have the opportunity and insight of all the different specialisms that you can possibly undertake from your second year. So the first year is the same for all the pathways, and that's a really important message. So whilst you might actually really want to be studying, say, for example, business management with digital technologies, the way that we've set it up is you will have to start on business management, but the good news is at the end of your first year, you can transition to any of our degrees within the business management scheme. And you'll do that having had a taste of the modules so that you do it from an informed perspective. So you can make a really good decision in terms of what works best for you as an individual. And of course, you'll have Daniel as your intake manager supporting you through that decision-making process as well. So the courses that are available are business management with digital tech, where you specialize particularly in your second and your final year within that area, business management with finance, or business management with marketing, or we also have an international business management degree, which I'll tell you a little bit more about later. Thank you, Maritza. So really important in terms of your decision making. You will be awarded at the end of your degree with a BSc honours, but in addition to that, our programs, and it's irrespective of which pathway you choose, so all the pathways are accredited by the Chartered Management Institute. What this gives you is an endorsement from a professional body that your course that you're about to start is real world. It's ready for you to transition out of directly into the world of work. They will also give you a level 5 qualification in leadership and management, and from that you can springboard to do your chartered management course as well. We were recognised as an outstanding partner in 2022 as we work really closely with the CMI. They support us with guest speakers, they support us with your with membership for students over the 3 years and the final year or the year after you graduate as well. And there's lots of additional insight series in terms of videos that you can watch through that programme as well. In your second year, you'll do a project management module called where you can also do an additional qualification with the Association of Project Managers as well. And that should be really an important part of your decision making, is knowing that you will get this additional accreditation as well as your BSc honours. Thank you. So our business management degrees have been highly successful over the last few years. We have received 95% positivity scores from our students on a national survey for the level of academic support. And I would say this is a real distinctiveness of Solent University and something that we're incredibly proud of. We form really good professional relationships with our students that are highly supportive. And as I mentioned, I'm supported across all levels by a level leader who looks after that particular cohort. And because you will be starting in the January, we will have a specialist January intake manager who is with me today, Daniel, who really is going to support and ease your transition into the university, but more than that in terms of your transition to the UK, so that you're highly successful and can support you to hit the ground running as you arrive. We've got 93% positive scores for assessment and feedback. And again, that's in terms of the type of feedback that we provide you with. It's always forward feeding to support you to be successful with your next assessment. But we also have formative assessments which you undertake, which are not scored towards your degree classification, but where you get feedback prior to handing in your final summative assessment. And our students find that really helpful to get some feedback at that halfway stage to ensure, and also give them confidence they're going along the right tracks. We've got 92% positive scores for our learning resources. We have an incredible virtual learning environment where your materials for all your modules will be stored. And again, as an international cohort, that's incredibly useful because then you can undertake those studies at your own pace. You can have breaks and go back to them, but equally 3 weeks later, you can revisit that to recap and to go through it again if you need to. But also all of that is then stored to support you through your assessments. We're in the top 25% of UK universities for satisfaction with assessment in business and management. So right up there across the country. Thank you, Maritza. So in terms of being best in class and that freedom to achieve as our students, the way that you will learn here at Southampton Solent University is we have our directed learning. So that's your independent study. That's your pre-learning before you come into the classroom, where you will work your way through the materials so that when you come into the classroom, it's a collaborative session. So how we teach is very much you applying the knowledge that you've learned and problem solving around case studies, and you're facilitated and supported by your lecturer in that process. We will then also set you some extended tasks to support you directly with the assessment, but also to enhance your overall employability. We have a whole host of extracurricular activities for you to undertake. As a department, we're really proud of our sort of series of departmental events. We've got the first one for the academic year coming up really shortly with our Winter Warmer, which is a celebration of the end of term. Where we bring our students from lots of different cultures together. We'll have guest speakers, but then a real celebration in terms of sharing those different cultural experiences as we lead into Christmas. The next one would be our Spring Forward networking event. We go back, Maritza, which is in February, where you can talk to employers. And we will then have an opportunity for you we call it Time to Shine, to celebrate the end of the academic year before we also then have our research conference. In terms of your employability, we embed real world learning into your curriculum right from the start of your course. So our first years have already been working with clients. Last week, Daniel helped to lead our Heathrow event. I don't know if you want to say a bit more about that, Daniel, in terms of the experience the students had last Tuesday, as it's so current. Don't forget to put your mic on.
Thank you, Sally. Yes, at Solent, we don't only teach you the theories, but we also try to bring in a real-world experience into the classroom. So yes, and we do that through things like master classes. We have sometimes guest visits. We have live client briefs. So yes, so last week we had one which was a Heathrow Airport masterclass. Now, for your information, we've been doing that for the past 3 consecutive years now, and it's really been brilliant. So it was really nice. And if you have opportunity, I could drop you my LinkedIn and you would see the responses. So these are some of the things that you would enjoy during your stay here at Solent. Thank you.
One of the things we would also try and do is connect you up very quickly with our Students' Union, but we're really delighted to say we now have our own Business Management and Finance Society. The students have called it SABS because it's their society, and they're utilising that not only to get more insights into industry or to go to events together, such as we've got PwC, a renowned accounting firm just down the road in Southampton, and I know that when they had their open evening, a group of students from the society all went together to support each other. But also they're organising social events, and I think that they've got a brunch, so a sort of mid-morning, late-morning breakfast coming up, which sounds amazing. But it's a really proactive and active society that you'll be able to join directly associated with our degree. Thank you, Maritza. So an example of some of the real world learning that you'll be doing, I say our first years in the past have worked with John Lewis, but equally this year they've already worked with the Southern Co-op and they've been out to see PwC. And I say, fortunately for us, on an annual basis, we now seem to have the entire Heathrow Airport operations team coming in to lead that real world experience of looking at how our students can put in resilience in terms of their operations planning. Incredibly successful event, as Daniel has already said. Thank you, Maritza. So why business management? I think from my perspective, it's very much about it opening multiple doors for you as an individual. It gives you an opportunity to still have the freedom to choose about what you personally want to do when you leave university. It will give you that opportunity to experience lots of different industry insights in terms of the modules that we have that are quite bespoke. And it will give you that springboard to go into a whole host of variety of different graduate schemes, but also to step straight into the world of work in areas such as finance, human resources, operations, project management, auditing. There's a whole host of different opportunities that this particular degree will lead into. I think one of the best ways to explain that a little bit to you is to talk to you about some of our successful students. Victoria here on my screen on the left, who has her end destination has been for JP Morgan, but I think it's also important to understand how she got there. So whilst Victoria was at Solent University, she got very involved with a volunteering project called Enactus, and actually was a project manager for a sanctuary refugee project as part of her sort of volunteering time while she was here. And that combined, with all the real world learning that she did, the live client briefs and her degree, plus her CMI qualification, has helped to springboard her to be a successful applicant to the JP Morgan graduate scheme. Francesco, just below Victoria, he did an industry year. So between the end of his second year and coming back to his final year, he went out to Airbus. He was incredibly successful while he was there and got offered a place on their graduate scheme. So he came back to university for a year, knowing that he already had a place on their graduate scheme where he now is. That's an absolute win. Dina at the top is working for ASIT as an IT project manager, and below her is Prince, who came to us as a dual career athlete. He specialised in cricket, and alongside his sort of dual career or dual studies with his cricketing, he's also then got a place on a graduate scheme, which has springboarded him into project management for Sony. So again, really successful. James, below Prince, is now working for Outreach in sales development, but he was our CMI award winner, so one of our outstanding students from his class, and within a year of graduating, he'd also become a chartered manager. Hannah at the top, she did a university placement between the end of her second year and returning to her final year. The placement provider, Think Engine, was so impressed with Hannah that they kept her on 2 days a week in her final year. And of course, they offered her a full-time role when she graduated as well. David below, again, took up an opportunity of a university work placement in his second term of his second year, and then through that managed to get a graduate place on the management ladder at Enterprise and Rent-A-Car. And finally, we have Gabrielle, who again undertook a work placement, interestingly, in his first year with JP Morgan while he was studying with us. And again, that sprungboarded him into a full-time role with JP Morgan. Thank you, Maritza. So this is the first year. So this is the first year of the course. As I've already said, the first year is common to all the different pathways across the course. And it's very much the foundation that helps you springboard successfully and confidently into your second year, which would be in September 2025. On top of the 6 modules that you will study, you will do 3 in the first term and 3 in the second term. Daniel will be meeting with you weekly to help develop your academic skills. We will also introduce you to the level leader for the first year, and she also has a weekly level leader hour where you will get additional support, but particularly in the term that you arrive, there'll be additional industry insights and preparing you further for that transition to your second year. On top of that, all of our core modules have a module leader hour where you can drop in weekly and ask questions more on a one-to-one basis to ensure that you understand the assessment, that you're going along the right tracks, but also just that confidence that you know when you can contact Daniel, your level leader, but also your module leader for your teaching each week. As you can see from the modules, they are a taste of each of the different pathways as you go through them. so that by the time you've visited all 6 modules, you'll be able to make a really good decision about which of the pathways you wish to go into for your second year, or if you want to, you can just stay on business management and have that freedom to choose across the different pathways. Okay, thank you, Maritza. So in your second year, this is my favorite year of the course because I feel that you get, this high level of freedom of choice to really personalize your own degree journey to your own particular preferences. So all students in the first term will study project management and operations management, which our Heathrow masterclass was linked to. And in your second term, if you choose to stay here at the university that term, you'll do values-driven leadership and social enterprise. On top of that, you will choose your pathway. So if you choose to specialize, you will do a specialist module for digital technologies in both your first term and your second term of your second year, and equally for the other pathways. On top of that, in the second year, in that second term, you could, and this applies to all the pathways, do a study abroad. This year we have students going out to Canada. We've got students going to a host of different destinations across Europe, and we've also got another student going out to America. So again, it's an amazing opportunity. If you're doing one of the pathways, you would follow similar subjects in your new host country, and you'd study there for the term before returning to us for your final year. You can do a placement in that second term of your second year, where you can go out for the whole term and get university credit for doing that placement. And again, we have found that, like with David, students that undertake that type of placement are incredibly successful in their final transitions when they graduate. And I think that's it really. With the digital tech, business management, international, and finance and marketing, you can make that decision if you want to go on that pathway, probably sort of in the early summer of your first year. Thank you, Maritza. So this is just an insight in terms of the specialist modules attached to the pathways. And you can see with digital technologies, they become quite deep in looking at analytics and business intelligence, human computer interaction, and then in their final term, UX strategies. Again, with international business management, the real distinctiveness of that one is in your first term of your second year, you will do global challenges, but in the second term, you would have to do the study abroad. And then your final year, you're doing global and inclusive management. In terms of finance, you'll look at the UK financial system in your first term and capital market trading in your second, where you get to play in our Bloomberg suite, which is, a really amazing opportunity to look at all those trade and prices and indexes as part of your course. And then in your final term, you look at international financial reporting and analysis. For marketing, you'll do a bit of content creation in integrated marketing comms and look at the customer experience and journey in customer experience before going on to international marketing. For the business management students, you can pick across those different options. So you're only allowed to do one, perhaps digital tech, in your second year, and then maybe one marketing. So you get that full spectrum of choice. All modules are available to you, apart from the UX strategy, because that's only for the digital technology module students. Thank you. Next slide. So this is just a picture of the different destinations that students can go to in terms of their study abroad. If we just go back onto the other slide, Maritza. It just shows you some of the host destinations that you can choose across. And say, just to reiterate, the work placement opportunities. In addition to that, we've got a new Earn While You Learn module in the second term of your second year, where you can get university credit and utilize your part-time job to get that 20 credits, which is a really exciting opportunity for our students to balance their sort of earning potential against doing their studies. Thank you, Maritza. So this is just a picture of some of the organizations that we work with. All of these organizations supported us with our Spring Forward networking event, the next one of which is in February. So you'll be able to join us for that. But an amazing opportunity to just sit down with employers and talk to them about the graduate skills and opportunities that they're looking for, but also just to network in terms of part-time jobs or work placements, or to understand further about graduate schemes as well. Thank you, Maritza. So this is the final year of the course. In the first term, all the modules are core as we set you up in research methods for your final major project. Your final major project is another opportunity for you to really have as what I call your CV calling card. So to pick a sort of niche area that you really want to specialize in, that you would want to talk to future employers about. We'll also do developing the professional manager, where you will work with your lecturers to really hone all your sort of core skills, but to think through then in terms of your strengths, what your best opportunity is in terms of your end destination or the graduate scheme that you'll be going on to. So it's a really supportive module, which really helps you to move on to the next stage of your own sort of personal development. You'll also all do sustainable strategic management, which is a live client project. Currently, our final year students are working with Boots, which is a big UK-based company in pharmacy. And again, they're responding directly to the CEO as part of that module. So we've got research methods, which Daniel is currently leading. And then in your second term, you'll all do ecological economics and your pathway choice. Thank you, Maritza. So these are the options. I say again, if you've gone onto a pathway, you will have to do the option that is attached to that particular pathway. Whereas if you're on business management, you can pick across the suite apart from UX strategies. The other additional module that we have for you to choose is business startup. Again, really popular module with an awful lot of our students. Thank you, Maritza. So this is a QR code which will help you develop your personal statement for your application. So there's a little bit of support and a video within that. But we also, in terms of, Daniel's touched upon some of the sort of support that we also have set up a buddy scheme where some of our other peers will be able to support you in terms of that transition to the UK, but also to university. We also have a personal tutoring scheme as well, where you'll meet with your tutor 4 times in your first year on a one-to-one basis, just to make sure that you're comfortable and you're settling in well. Thank you, Maritza. In terms of your well-being and your mental health, it's a really important part of your time here at Solent and something that we take very seriously. Our mental health and therapy team are incredible. There's no waiting lists. We've got traditional counselling, sort of blocks of 6 weeks, and CBT sessions if you need them. But also we find that the single session therapy sessions are really, really successful in terms of really supporting you if you've just got a bit stuck at a particular point of your degree journey. We've got mental health advisors. There's triage duty available while the university is open. We can get you support. We've also got psychoeducational workshops. We're already talking about your welcome week the other week and beginning to set that up, and we'll sort of be setting up a resilience workshop for you quite promptly after your arrival. A great new initiative is social prescribing. So instead of sort of prescriptions, we can support students with free gym memberships, volunteering opportunities, again, just to ensure that you're getting out and about and integrating as part of your journey here. Thank you, Maritza. In addition to that, we have our student assistance program, which is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. So you can contact it whether you're in the UK or whether you've gone home over the Christmas period and need additional support. It's an amazing thing to have as part of our sort of services for students, so that you know you've got that sort of backup and can be confident that there's support whenever you need it as you arrive in the UK. Thank you. So, next one. So a little bit about settling into Southampton and the costs of coming to university. Do chip in, Maritza, if I miss bits or bits that you wish to highlight. Move on to the next slide. So this is just an oversight of some of the costs. So it can be quite overwhelming as you fly in with your one large suitcase in terms of settling in. We have IKEA just down the road where you can get all your sort of basics affordably in terms of bedding and towels and all that sort of thing. We've got sort of the suggestion costs for toiletries and laundries and books and materials. On that front, we have no core textbooks that we insist that you buy. So there is a little bit of saving in that area, because all the books that we would really want you to access, you can get access from our library. And also the library has a whole host of ebooks to support you if you don't want to be carrying books home for the Christmas period or Easter holidays. Again, little indicative costs about internet. You would need to think about some content insurance as well. I wasn't sure if that was yours or mine, Maritza. Solent University residency costs. We've also been talking to our residency team. So as soon as you've accepted your offer, they can begin to support you with accommodation. Food costs, again, very personal, but just gives you some indicative costs. And your leisure, obviously, again, very personal, and mobile phones. Thank you. I think when you're coming to university, it is a big decision. We appreciate it is a big investment. Employers tell us that what they're really looking for from our graduates is that transferable skills piece. And I can assure you that those are well and truly embedded into your modules and develop across the 3 years of the programme. In terms of that return on investment, business management graduates rank the 3rd highest among non-science fields in terms of that return in their investment. And I think the graph on the right really highlights that. You can see the tracking of average salary levels for students or non-graduates, and then the blue is for the graduate, so it jumps a good £10,000 per year for having invested that time in getting your sort of degree. But again, we would love you to stay for 4 years. We'd love you to do our postgraduate programs, which have been tailored for our students to step into, and you can see again there's another quite noticeable uplift of salary for postgrad students. Thank you, Maritza. So this is an outline of Southampton. I think if you click it one more time, it shows the campus. That's it, perfect. You'll see that we're a city centre campus. We're highlighted in red, although our sports building is actually missing from this picture. So where we've got the sort of what looks like a car park, we've now got a brand new sports complex that supports our talented athletes or anybody who wants access to those facilities. But we're also surrounded by an awful lot of green space. At the top of our main teaching building, the Spark, you can look out over to the park and you can sort of see the trees, and it really does make it feel a really lovely space to be in. But equally, you can hop out at lunchtime and walk around the parks. All our student residences are within walking distance of the campus, so you don't need access to a car. We do have, I think, still some scooters in Southampton that you can hire, but everything really is within walking distance, as is the main shopping centre, the theatre, the cinemas and bars, and do sports facilities as well. We're, I remember hearing Maritza talk about this, we're a coastal city, but we're not really the beach. So we are a port. And as you can see up here, we have Southampton Water, where the major cruise lines come in and out on a regular basis. And if you hear strange sort of foghorn sounds and ditties coming from somewhere, it's probably actually from our cruise ships. On our left, you can see the Itchen Bridge going over the Itchen River, and then the water goes down to Southampton, past the Hamble River and into the main Solent, where we've got the Isle of Wight, and then beyond that you're into the English Channel. So it is a lovely situation. Right on our doorstep we've got the New Forest, which I think is mentioned on the next slide, Maritza. So we've got, in terms of other benefits that Maritza's touched upon, we are only 60 to 70 minutes on the train from London. There is much cheaper coach travel from Southampton to London as well. It's a huge community of students, so it makes it fun and social for you. But don't forget, we also have our course society alongside all the other societies that the Student Union and their team run. This year, for the 2nd year running, one of our sabbatical officers is from our degree. So our students are really successful at getting themselves elected as well to spend that year being employed by the university. We have our own airport, but we do have good sort of links as well with Heathrow as well. It's a good hub for jobs, and we have our own careers site where you can look for part-time jobs as well as work placements and graduate opportunities. And we're really close to the New Forest, which is lovely. If you have the opportunity at the weekend to go there, you'll see that we've got horses just wandering around. You've got pigs ruffling around as well, and ponies and donkeys wandering around the New Forest. It is and we're also very close to beaches as well. Thank you, Ruth. So this is a picture of our team. So say I oversee the whole of the business management scheme. I'm really supported by my team, Pilar, who looks after our foundation, and then Lindsay, who looks after the first year, but say you will have your own specialist intake manager, Daniel, and then you will progress on to Sian, who looks after our second year, and Jane, again, highly supportive, who looks after our final year students. Thank you. Already mentioned it, but we really would like you to stay for a further year. We have a whole host of postgrad opportunities within our department, which have been specially written for you as our undergraduate students to give you that confidence to transition to postgrad study. Thank you. So here we have them. So you could go on to an LLM in law in terms of intellectual property and professional legal practice, or commercial law. We've got our MSc in project management, which tends to be very popular with our business management students, or the global MBA, MSc digital marketing, or MSc logistics as well. I think importantly, it's worth noting that we also do a lot of professional teaching within the department, and that's really relevant to you, as you could then know that we're keeping ourselves current in terms of what's happening in the real world. We also teach degree apprenticeships. We have a leisure retail course called Revo, and we'd also do the Help to Grow, which we work with small to medium-sized enterprises in terms of developing their small business leadership programs as well. And hopefully some of you will also go on to our PhD programs. Thank you. So Maritza, I know will always be in touch with you, but if you have any questions, you can also ask through the QR codes, but obviously you've got your main point of contact with Maritza as well. But say thank you very much for your interest. If you've got any questions today, then do please ask.
Thank you very much, Sally and Daniel, for that informative presentation. And it's just great. I mean, I work here, so I know what happens, but I think it's really good to get an overview goes on and the support available for students. The one thing you touched on in the presentation was about, the community element at Solent. And I think Solent is really unique for offering that. Daniel, can you talk about how important community is and how you've seen it amongst your students and how welcoming it's been amongst your students that are currently studying on the business course?
Okay, thank you. Yes, community is very important. And because as an international student, we have a very good international community here at Solent. And this creates an environment where you can feel at home, feel comfortable, and then learn, looking at it from different perspectives. So, and also, we also have lots of various clubs and societies, cultural events, and all this would help you to know what, see that you can actually make here your home and feel very comfortable while you study. So I can say there's a lot more to look out for than just your studies here at Solent.
Thank you very much. And that is really true. I working in the international office, I've seen that myself. And so we talk about support throughout the presentation, and I thought that was quite nice to highlight the support that students will get from the beginning to be able to integrate. Can you talk about some of the things that they can look forward to?
Okay, thank you for that. Now, yes, also here at Solent, we have a very good support system. So, well, right from the moment you come into Solent, you will definitely meet me, Daniel, who will be your intake manager. And then across every level of your studies, we also have various level leaders who would also be your point of support. And also, we have also some extra support, such as the career support, where you could go in there and look at what you want to do and how, and the various steps you would like to take to get there. So things like internship, placements, networking events with industry professionals, and a lot more. So yes, we do have a very good support system. across every level. So, and that would also help you to give you a very wonderful experience across your journey when you move here in Solent. Thank you.
Yeah. We have some additional sessions which were embedded into the guided learning, which I touched upon within the presentation. But I think that's something that, as a student, you can really begin to tailor in terms of what's most useful to you in terms of your own pathway. But also it's that looking at it as more than just the course. It's that whole university experience in terms of joining the clubs and societies, going to the master classes, undertaking some of this additional guided learning that we offer in terms of masterclasses in other areas. It could be something about employability, coming to our network events, our department events, but also other university events that are up for offer. So you can really get a really rich experience the more that you're proactively engaging and settling in, the quicker that you are going to settle in as well in terms of that transition. So, it's very much one of those things. If you invest, you will get so much more from it as well.
You touched on a really good point there, Sally, about investing and getting yourself integrated into what's happening in the department. What advice would you give an international student joining the course coming this January? Just give a few tips on how to best for them to prepare themselves coming on to this journey.
I think for me, it's about having that growth mindset, being really open-minded and just giving things a go. I think one of the things that students tend to worry about is not getting things right. And that's so the wrong thing to worry about at university. University is so different to any other educational experience you'll have. It is about trying things and testing things out. And from that experience, learning what's right for you and what isn't. So my advice really is to just give things a go. You've got absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain.
And I think with that support, it's the perfect environment. Daniel, what advice would you give your students that are joining this January?
I would say they should keep an open mind. Even we as lecturers, as tutors, we're still a work in progress. So it's never perfect. So they should keep an open mind and be ready to take the opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities here at Solent. They should also try as much as possible to get involved. It's very important. The more involved they are, the more lovely the experience will be.
Yeah.
So yes, so I would say get involved at every opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah. And I think also it's important to remember that quite often with the opportunities, some of the academics that you're familiar with and know are also present. So when it comes to our networking event in February, I will be there the whole day and academics will be dropping in throughout the day. Daniel will be coming along to directly support you to have those conversations with employers. So we know that sometimes actually it's just the getting going, which is the tricky bit. And we're very aware of that and very happy to support our students to start those types of conversations.
That's exciting. I mean, I wish I was going back to uni again, but it's really exciting to know that there's so much in place for a student to thrive and succeed. And so I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to add from the both of you.
I think only from my perspective is really looking forward to seeing you all. Please come for the welcome week. It starts on that. Daniel, I'm hopeless with dates, but I'll have a quick look of this one up. What was the date? Let me have a quick look in terms of the date in January. So Welcome Week starts on Monday, the 13th of January, and we were yesterday planning the first exciting things that we're going to be doing on that day. That week is all about your integration into Solent University, getting you ready for the first week of teaching, which happens the following week. I know the international team will also be doing exciting events that are there to help you integrate. So please, when you get those letters, prioritize your attendance. We really do want to see you at 10 a.m. on Monday, the 13th of January.
Yeah. And I think from an international perspective, I want to add that, Welcome Week is so important. It's so important to your learning. It sets the tone for how the rest of the academic year is going to be. So I echo similarly to what Sally has said. be here for the 13th
10 a.m.
January. Yeah, 10 a.m. Be here for the 13th January 2025, and you will just, the minute you join that, it sets you on a really good trajectory for success. With that, I would like to thank you all for your time, for joining us. Choose Solent as your home away from home. It's a great place to be an international student, and it's a great place to just grow and succeed. So we thank you all for joining us. We will be sending out this as a recording for you to rewatch. But if you need anything or want anything, you're welcome to contact us all for any questions and queries that you might have. Thank you again for your time. I hope you have a great afternoon.
Thank you, everybody. It's been lovely to talk to you and have this opportunity. Don't hesitate to come back with any other questions.
Thank you all. See you January 2025.
Thank you.
At 10 a.m. on the 13th.
At 10 a.m., yes. Thank you.
Well,
thank you all. Thank you to you guys as well.
yeah, thank you.